The trend of removing 3.5mm headphone jack is getting common, and having a 3.5mm headphone jack will become a luxurious feature in the future. As the trend of removing headphone jack getting common, Google decided to add Bluetooth Audio Codec natively into Android 8.0 Oreo. USB-C headphone is still having compatibility issue with some of the smartphones, as USB-C audio standard is not standardized like the 3.5mm headphone jack. Most OEM will choose to include a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack converter in the box rather than USB-C headphone. Not all USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack converter is built equally. HTC included a DAC-included USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack converter that performed greatly in HTC U11 packaging, while Sharp included a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack converter that performed badly in Sharp Aquos S2 packaging. Choosing a Bluetooth headphone is a challenging task, as most affordable Bluetooth headphones perform badly. However, SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone is surprisingly good enough for those that just wanted to enjoy their music without worrying about forgetting the headphone jack converter. I am Alex Ong from Mr. Tax, and you are now watching SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone experience video. Before we start, I would like to make things clear, as this is not your typical review video where I can tell you what is good and what is bad. Audio experience is a very subjective matter, as what is good for my ear may not good for your ear, or vice versa. Experience video is based on my experience with the product, where experience may vary across different people. After getting things clear, let us start with the unboxing of SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone. In the box, you will find the SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone, a micro USB cable for charging, 2 extra ear tips, and a quick start guide that you need to learn how to connect with your smartphone. Let's talk about the build. SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone does not feel premium at all. The control is made by plastic and it feels like going to break anytime soon, especially when I plug into the micro USB port to charge it. What to expect from a Bluetooth headphone that costs less than 100 ringgit Malaysia? From what I can find on Shopee and Lazada, you can find the SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone from the price range of 20 ringgit Malaysia to 50 ringgit Malaysia. There are magnets on the left and right earbuds, but the magnets are weak. Yes, it is weak. I have a habit to put the headphone inside my shirt when I'm not using it, as I do not like it to dangle around. The earbuds will often separate from each other and it will end up sliding off from the right side because of the heavy controls. The buttons are clicky, but it does not seem to be responsive. To change volume, you will need to long press the plus and minus buttons rather than just a click. Oftentimes, I would rather change the volume directly on my phone rather using the buttons on the controls. Single click will change to the next song or previous song, but it doesn't seem to be working well. Since we are talking about the buttons, let's talk about how you connect with your smartphone. To turn on the Bluetooth headphone, you will need to long press the call button and it will connect to your phone if you paired to it previously. If you are starting fresh, you will just need to pair it like how you would when pairing with a Bluetooth device. Let's talk about the audio quality. You can receive call using the SLS Bluetooth headphone, but it is just bad. The other side of my caller could not hear me clearly and I will need to call back without using the Bluetooth headphone. let's get to the serious part. How is my music listening experience with the SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone? Before I proceed, please allow me to tell you what is my standard for Bluetooth headphone. Sony 1000X M2 will be my first choice to go with if you are an audiophile. I tested the SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone with FLAC audiophile with both HTC U11 and Sharp Aquos S2. Let's start with HTC U11 with Android 8.0 Oreo. With Android 8.0 Oreo, the phone will automatically choose the Bluetooth Audio Codec that is supported by a Bluetooth headphone, and in this case, SLS-100 only supports SBC. The audio quality is good, but it won't surprise you much and the volume is too low for my liking. I need to max the volume out and it is still too low. The surround effect of the FLAC audio file has gone and my FLAC audio files feels like the 320 kilobits per second MP3. If you just want a Bluetooth headphone that just works and to forget about the hassle of bringing along the headphone jack converter, SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone might worth your money. Let's continue with Sharp Aquos S2 with Android 7.1.1 Nougat. My experience with SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone paired with Sharp Aquos S2 with Android 7.1.1 Nougat is a mixed bag, as the volume is too high where I will need to reduce the volume to the lowest just to get comfortable with the volume. Besides that, the audio quality on Sharp Aquos S2 is just okay, and my FLAC audio files feels like 128 kilobits per second MP3. If I only tested out the SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone on Sharp Aquos S2, I would just say that SLS-100 is terrible. However, after testing it on both HTC U11 and Sharp Aquos S2, I will start to think that Android 8.0 Bluetooth Audio Codec could really improve the Bluetooth headphone music listening, or Sharp Aquos S2 just performed really bad on the audio quality part. I will report back after Sharp Aquos S2 got the Android 8.0 Oreo update. Let's talk about the latency issue. Bluetooth headphone is having latency problem where the sound could not catch up with the video when you are watching video, or having interference when you are using it in a crowded place. Using SLS-100 in a private room will not experience any latency issue. However, when you use it in a park or at a crowded cafe, you will experience some latency problem once in a while. The worst place to use SLS-100 is when the area you are at is having many electronics devices. You will not be able to enjoy your music at all. As for video watching, most of the time, there are no latency issue where the sound could keep up the video. Let's talk about the battery life. I could not find the exact battery capacity, but the packaging claims that the SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone has the battery life of up to 6 hours of continuously listening. Based on my casual usage of 1 week, SLS-100 is still going on. One thing that I hate about this headphone is that I could not find out the battery life. There are no battery indicator on a headphone, you can only guess about the battery life. SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone may not be the perfect choice for everyone, but with the affordable price, you can try to get used to using Bluetooth headphone before you truly invest into great Bluetooth headphone like the Sony 1000X M2. Personally, I still prefer white headphone, but with the removal of headphone jack and the terrible headphone jack converter, I will start to look at Bluetooth headphone. Google has included Bluetooth Audio Codec into Android 8.0 Oreo, and it did improve the Bluetooth headphone music listening experience when paired with Bluetooth headphone that support apt-X, apt-X HD, and LDAC. SLS-100 Bluetooth headphone will be good enough for those that wanted to try out Bluetooth headphone yet not ready to invest more money into it. If you like this kind of video, remember to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Mr. Tech YouTube channel.